Okay. So, yeah, hello. Today, we're still working on our workout, and today it's sadly, but it's not about art, not about creativity anymore. Today it's about money and about funding. So boring things, but it belongs to it. I mean, if we do interdisciplinary projects, it's not only creativity, it's still much work in terms of searching funding, for example, or communication. So, and yeah, of course, about partners for collaborations, for realization of the project. And there are many aspects in this project. Many fields are combined together, and actually, where should we search funding for such projects? Is it about art? Is it about science? Is it about technology? Or is it all together? And okay, now let's think that we already have an idea of the project. And after we have an idea, let's think about the realization of the project. So, and let's come first to the question, how will I find funding for my project? Of course, it depends on what project is it and what target do we have with our project. What would we like to achieve? Is it, for example, entertainment, and should I go a little bit more commercial way, or is it just for humanity? Is it just for art? And we should honestly answer the question, do we want to earn money with this project, or do we make it really for us, for humanity, to do things better a little bit? And in many cases, these kinds of projects, interdisciplinary projects, are non-commercial. It's really more about culture, about sustainability, and so on. So there are two ways of organizing the project. You can go with non-profit cultural enterprise under private law, so it is an NGO. And sometimes it's really nice to start with NGO organization because if you're applying for the grants from government, for example, mostly you need an NGO, and probably also an NGO that exists already for many years. And if the project is more about entertainment, you can decide, for example, to use private commercial establishments. In this case, of course, you can sell tickets for your event, sell alcohol during the presentation of the event, or merchandising, for example. So, okay, maybe at this point we have our idea, we have chosen what form we use to realize our project, what kind of commercial form, right? But now begins the challenge. Actually, now we should answer the question, how can I make my project sustainable, but also in terms of funding? How can I present it and maybe present it for many years and develop the project? This is all about. And okay, let's say we are an NGO. So we do project for humanity. We don't need anything commercial. What types of funding can we use in this case? Okay, if we have many members and the members have profits, that they are members of our organization, non-profit, non-commercial organization, of course, we can charge membership fees, right? So this is the one opportunity. In Germany, these organizations, NGO or Verein, they normally use this form also to generate a little bit money in their organization. Of course, we still can sell the tickets for the events to cover some costs, not to make huge profits or something, but really to cover the costs. Of course, we can apply for the grants from the government, for example, from the city, cultural organizations of the cities, for example. We can also look for sponsors in many different ways. Actually, everything should be a little bit connected. I mean, to do advertising of something in the, like advertising here, it's not the proper way anymore, right? And for example, we also had some sponsors for our festivals, interdisciplinary festivals, and there was a company that was producing medicine. Bayer is the name of the company. But it was not possible just to place the logo, and from our side it was also not interesting, and that's why we just thought which way we can collaborate on this project, and they told me, okay, let's make a quiz about natural intelligence. And that was fun, and that was interesting also for visitors of the festival, of course. And okay, sponsors. And of course, we as an interactive, interdisciplinary project or festival, maybe we have our know-how and we can sell licenses for using our software, for example, right? Yeah, so, and now I would like to show you just one case. During the pandemic, I organized an exhibition of Swedish interdisciplinary art collective from Tiden Lab and Håkan Lidbo. I will show you the homepage of it. As you can see, I mentioned this project already yesterday. This is a very, very interesting interdisciplinary project. It is about immersive sound. It is about also lighting installations. And it is about the games that we as humans of today cannot play, but maybe people in 200 years will play these games. So it was very interactive, very nice, and very, very big project. So I mean, it was like 1,000 square meter project exhibition with mapping, with installations, with sound, and so on. Everything is nice, looks great, but what to do with funding? And maybe many young artists think, okay, I will just apply for a grant, I will get 50 millions and thousands and I don't know what, euros, and realize my project. But the life is hard, I should say. There is no opportunities like this normally. And my advice is just to go first from what you have, right? So, and make the system of the project really modular. In this case, what did we have? Actually, not much. We had a free location, so Kunstkraftwerk wanted to show this exhibition, and we said, okay, we don't need to pay for the location. Perfect. Number two, the installations were already there, so these lamps or some sound equipment was already there. Okay, that's free, very nice. But what to do next? How can the artist, for example, get there? How can we ship everything? So there are some shipping costs. What to do with that? But there are other costs, right? So it's not only shipping, it's not only traveling costs, it's not only about equipment. Yeah, so you need also some salary for the artist, for example, right? And how did we proceed that time? Okay, as I mentioned before, free location, the installations were partly there. How can the artist get there? Shipping. We applied for the grant of Swedish Art Council, and it was okay because, for example, in Sweden, they don't have too many different museums, and they are really happy if Swedish artists go outside of the country to present their installations. And yeah, the grant was approved, so it was like governmental grant. Okay, we had some equipment, but not all of it. And that's why, of course, we needed some sponsorships. And we found really nice sponsors from Leipzig that time that covered, for example, the costs of sound equipment, some projectors, and also one hotel told us, wow, cool, if we can present this installation also at our place, you can sleep at our place. Yeah, so, and the consular helped us a lot, so Swedish consular in Germany, in Leipzig. But still, they needed some salary because people were coming from outside, and of course they worked a lot and worked hard on this installation. And good that also Swedish embassy gave us the grant to cover the salary. But you can imagine it's not like 50,000, it's like about 5,000, right? But the project was still very, very cool realized, and many people admired this project because the artist and Rumtiden Lab is really very, very cool, and they do very futuristic art. So, as I mentioned, it's like not you get everything from one source, but you do a modular system and you organize many different sources to make a mixture, like, you know, you connect or you mix different types of funding, like sponsorship, governmental grants, I don't know, also, how do you call it? So the sponsoring with things, not with money, right? So, and maybe this mixture helps you to make your project also sustainable. You have made it one time, and maybe you can make it next year and next year and next year, because you have maybe also more sponsors and you make different combinations of some sources of funding. But of course, the next topic is, all of this is about communication. Nobody in our world already will not give funding to you if you cannot communicate. Yes, so, and actually now the job of the artist, it's sad, but it's true, not only doing art, but also think about management, think about marketing, and not in in a way that, you know, so you cannot do marketing for your art as you would do marketing for BMW, for example, right? So you need to find the ways. And what I wanted to show about the communication, because I think that communication in our life is the key. Yes, and communication is not only about searching of funding, it's also about communication with potential partners. So you have a brilliant idea, maybe you have already the idea how to find funding, but you still, in interdisciplinary projects, you need partners, you need scientists, you need technology, and so on, and so on. So, and actually, the big challenge in our job is also to write a good mail that will not be seen as spam, for example. Because sometimes, or mostly, also the mails that are no spam, we just think it's spam because it's too much or too complicated or too long, yeah? And now I would like to share with you the mail, or maybe my variant of the mail that I normally try to write. Yes, like a standard collaboration mail for me. Actually, here you should be simple, because you know our life is so complicated, and as for me, I don't want to read very long and very strange mails. I just want to get the information from who is addressing me something, and actually I would like to come to the point, what do they want from me, for example. And that's why this is my suggestion of the mail. Actually, first, you just write who you are, your name, what do you normally do, and in what field are you particularly active. For example, I would write something, we are media artists, and in particular, we are active in the field of digital art, and for our artistic work, we use innovations, right? So something like this, like 2 sentences, not more. Yeah, and then actually we come to the topic, we give an exact definition of what we do, maybe a little bit of our best cases, what did we achieve, how was the experience in our case for the visitors, like yeah, for artists or for makers, right? So here I would be a little bit boastful, but still not too much, just facts, you know, just facts that people can also search in internet and say, ah, okay, that's true, right? So, for example, I would write here something like, one of our latest installations were there and there, I don't know, in Dubai, at the expo in Dubai, or in Future Forum in New York, and what we actually do. Like, we do visualization of the emotions, we track emotional reactions of the visitors via artificial intelligence, which splits a mood image of the subject in individual color fragments in real time, and it produced projected, and it is projected as an artwork on the wall, right? So something like a game between psycho, aesthetics, and AI. Yes, and you just say also some words, what was it for the visitors? And yeah, then you just come to the point, why are you writing and what do you want to suggest? Because it's also very, very important. Sometimes I read many mails. I make such and such stuff, this and these things, and at the end of the mail I don't see what people actually want from me, right? So, and that's why here at the almost at the end of your email, you just write why are you writing. For example, now we are here and would like to make something together, right? And then this is also the good thing. Just make an appointment. Try to make an appointment. Maybe we can arrange a Zoom meeting to discuss the opportunities, right? So, and this is also good for the potential partners. For example, one time I was too shy and I didn't write about the appointment, and the person on the other end thought that I don't want to collaborate with them, but I only want to ask something and don't invest my time in talking to them, you know. And for me it was good, nice to know, right? So sometimes you're just too shy and don't offer an appointment, but it's good to offer it, I mean. Yeah, so this is like my version of the first mail. It is the start of the communication. Of course, it's only the start, and the other things are to go deeper, to make the first appointment, maybe then the second one to describe the project. So this is already challenging, and this is already in the next hour sessions. Yeah, present the business plan and so on. But I think many things could start with a simple mail, and actually also don't be afraid to write directly to the partners, for example, or to funding organizations, because sometimes if you see the opportunity for the grant, there are so many things that are mentioned in this opportunity, so you don't know how to apply for the grant actually. And that's why it's really nice to write an email and to ask what exactly you should do for the grant, for example, to get the grant really. And normally, I don't know how is it here, but in Germany, the officials normally are very, very open. They will offer you an appointment to discuss how should you prepare your papers to get this grant. And with help of this, you should really achieve some goals. Okay, so actually that's it for today. I wanted to share it with you, and the next step maybe do it a little bit in a conversation format. If you have any questions, please ask. And yeah, so let's share our thoughts. Yes.
Sorry. So I break the silence until the others prepare the questions. So what would you suggest, or what's your, I don't know, experience? Would you go lower level, like to the city hall or municipality, or would you aim to the EU or some bigger foundation? So who is probably, I don't know, more responsive or willing to cooperate, even if it's just a smaller amount of money or just a free spot? As a start.
Yeah, okay. So as for me, so of course I have more experience in German grants, right? And if it is about the whole financial system of Germany. So if you go directly to Berlin, it's challenging to get the grant, get the good amount of grant, because there are too many organizations maybe, and they are all interested in these grants, and the authorities already know from some of the organizations, and they give money to the organizations that they already know and where they had already good experience. So actually, if you start, for example, and you would like to realize a project, an interdisciplinary project, I would say the first project I wouldn't organize in Munich or in Berlin, right? I will go maybe to Saxony, because some lands in this municipal system have really more funding opportunities than the governmental big things. So, and also if you're applying for bigger grants, you need many papers. The ways are very long, and the timing is also like, you need to wait 3 months, 4 months, 6 months. Maybe you don't want to realize this project already in 6 months. I mean, if you get your yes in 6 months, your approval, so you need another 6 months to work on the project, right? And it is already in 1 year. And so I would suggest, so for the start, it's good to search for smaller amounts, and maybe at municipalities, and maybe at the same time apply already for the next year at the bigger, at the bigger organization. Yeah. Yeah, please.
About the communication is the key. You should say about that one email, and you said that you will introduce more in the other next sessions. I would like to know what are the others, and what will you
Yeah,
about that?
okay. So the other sessions, maybe Lien, you could help me with this, because you know they are in Vietnamese. I normally translate my sessions into English, and so yeah. Lien, do you have the next sessions? Because tomorrow it is about realization of the project and about creating the modular system of financing and so on. Yeah, so this is for tomorrow. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
We're gonna have 2 more sessions. The one tomorrow is about project conceptualization with artistic concept, budget, and visualization. And the final one will be the project realization with logistics and management, and the creations of different format, technical equipment, checklists, creating the timeline with important deadlines.
Yeah.
Okay, so I assume that all the questions that related to like managing the funding or anything related to logistics will be answered in the other
Yeah, tomorrow and the day after tomorrow. Yeah.
Thank you.
We have like a movie series.
I just have a simple question. That what would you do first? Found the fund and the money before you really start the project?
No, I go from the crazy way. So first I have an idea. And then, if I love my idea and if I cannot live without my idea, I start to search for money for the realization. Not only for money, but also for the opportunities, how to do it. Because I just really would like first to burn with the project and then just think in little steps how I would organize it. Because I think, yeah, for the artist, it's just very important to be the artist. Yeah, so, and if you can find some support after for the realization of the project, this is good. Yeah, but it's not about like, okay, now I have money, perfect. What do I do with this money?
Yeah, that's
Juliana, we have one questions from the online. Like, you know, we all know that you are coming from the like artistic background, so you will be more about like with the idea and the content. But sometimes, you know, like your sponsor or like any corporate who give you like some money to do the project, and sometimes they want to try to input like they try to input their comments or feedback about the work, and they want to, I don't want to use the word like force, but they try to manage like your content. So is there any way that you can balance like the content, the artistic element with the one that your sponsor want?
Yeah, so this is also a very interesting question. Here, I think I couldn't do a compromise between sponsors and the artistic projects, because, you know, if I make my compromise for a sponsor, it means that it's not art anymore. Maybe it's more design, for example, but it's not art. So if we have an equal position with a partner, for example, of course we design our project together, right? So, for example, at these interdisciplinary projects, it's like about art and science, so there are equal aspects. But if it is about sponsoring, I normally just say, okay, you saw already what we do. We will do it because it is the weight of our words. But we cannot change ourselves. If we change ourselves, that means we are not artists anymore. And also for my own, I want respect me if I do something for sponsors, you know. So if I would do design, it would be okay, of course, because you do design, you have a project, and it is from other perspective. But if it is your artistic project, I think, yeah, we should defend ourselves. So today's session seems to be short. Okay, but yeah, I think tomorrow it will be a little longer because there are so many aspects, different aspects of the realization. But yeah, thank you very, very much for today's meeting, and hopefully see you tomorrow.